So we're going to talk about man-match coverage in this section. Now, here's what I would say about this. We are a zone team. I showed you in the graphic last night, 90% of the time. If you're a man-match team, what you really are is you're a man coverage team that is lining up in zone. You're lining up off people, and the route distribution is telling you who to man up. You're playing man in your zone. And I'll give you the most classically simple example. Okay? Teams playing 2x2, quarterback's over here, and I'm in palms. I'm in read 2. I'm in cover 2, whatever you want to call it. Somebody is damn excited upstairs.
We're watching the rugby.
I hear it. Okay, so here we go. We got tailback. We got quarterback. We've got 3 defenders. We're in palms. Cover 2, read 2. They all mean the same thing. If I was going to man these guys up, we'd be in Meg. Man everywhere they go. We get right in their face, we got them. In read 2, all eyes are on the number 2 receiver. What he does tells us all how to distribute. So 1 starts pushing vertical, and 2 burns vertical. He clears linebacker depth. This just became quarters. It really just became man. Corner's got him, safety's got him. I would contend every quarters team in America is really playing man. It's man on demand. But what if 2 breaks out? Corner has first to the flat. Means he drives to the flat. Safety takes the vertical. They redistributed. Who keeps 2 from going inside? We call this a Cali technique by the will. He walls 2 and pushes to 3. So if you get into this world, you have to have these little code words that tell your guys their responsibility. So this corner, I would say you are head up leverage. You have the first to the flat of 1 and 2. You have the first to the flat of 1 and 2. You are inside leverage at 10 yards, and you have all of 2 vertical. 2 goes vertical is yours. Done. End of story. No debate. 2 goes to the flat, you push to 1. Will linebacker. Listen to this one. You wall the final 2 and push to the final 3. What does that mean? He goes vertical, and he swings. I walled 2 so that he can't run a slant. Safety's too deep to cover the slant. I have to wall that. Once he clears me vertical, I push to the final 3. I take the flat. Now the routes have distributed all 3 guys, and we're done. We are in man. But we can't line up in man because they'll switch, they'll pick us, they'll outrun us. So we're going to distribute it on the run. Does that make sense? Did I lose anybody in that? Because fundamentally, that's man match right there.
How long does it take high school guys to get that?
About 5 minutes.
How about Pee Wee?
10. How long does it take them to do it correctly? A couple years. Got to dedicate to it. Now, to understand it on a board, they're like, oh yeah, coach, I got it. And then 2 runs a slant, and you're like, what'd they say? Oh, he's the 2. Yeah. So they have to see it. The biggest mistake we made when we put it in is we put it in, and then we said, okay, now you're good, let's go. You got to rep it, rep it, rep it, rep it, rep it. Now, if you're playing quarters, the question is there a nickel present or not? If I play corner, safety, star, that's the nickel. If we're in true quarters, you're bailing inside leverage, you're bailing inside leverage. You have all of 1 vertical. You have all of 2 vertical. You are pushing 2 to 1 flat, and you have the final 3. If there's no nickel present, we blitzed him. We put him in the box, whatever. We're a sky support team in quarters. You have all of 1 vertical. You have 2 to the flat. So if they ran an out route, the safety would have to go close on it and take it. So if we're in quarters, you have to know, is there a nickel or not? If you're in read 2, there's not going to be a nickel. There's going to be an outside linebacker. It works the same way in cover 3. Let me show you this real quick. And this is, in an hour, this is hard because it's a long conversation. But let's say they come and they play cover 3 on you. Or excuse me, they play 2 by 2. You want to play cover 3. Old school, fall off the shelf. What should the offensive coordinator call when he sees cover 3? Four verts, seams, right? Get 2 people up the seam. So if you play cover 3 as man match, this is how you do it. That's how we play 2 by 2. Now, the rules distribute this way. You are inside leverage, so this is how I would draw it on the board for our kid. You're inside leverage, and you have all of 1 vertical. You have all of 1 vertical. You are inside leverage, and you have all of 1 vertical. This is called Tahoe alignment. We're in outside leverage. Back in the day, you'd play cover 3 with those guys inside leverage. You would jam, and that receiver's going to outrun you. He's going to get in the seam. Quarterback's going to look the free safety off, and he's going to nail you on 4 verts. That's spot drop cover 3. This is pattern match cover 3. I have all of 2 out and up. I have all of 2 out and up. He runs an out. He's yours. He runs vertical. Beat his ass. Get on his outside shoulder and run him. Where? Where's your help? The free is free. Force him to the middle of the field. Let him cherry pick it and break on the ball. We get a lot of picks this way because I have how many guys dedicated to the pass? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 4. Now do you get why I said last night we stopped the run with 2 high and we stopped the pass with 1 high? Because 1 high is 5 high. Right? 1 high is a lie. It's 5 high. So the DC or the OC is like, oh God, I got him in 1 high. I'm going to run the ball. That would not be good because I'm double overhung. I've got leverage on both of your receivers. That means you're going to run into that 6-man box and we're just going to come downhill and strike your ass. Now, how do we cover the back? Depends on what he does. If he is slow to the flat, he would take him and he'd be a rat in the hole. We call that rat man match 3. If it's a fast 3 to the flat, because they're playing this game, they want to run that little snag game, and they want to go right now to the flat, we call that fast 3. Fast 3 creates a push alert. This kid goes, holy hell, I can't cover that back. He just took off and flew, and he's better than me. Push, 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 push. He yells it at the safety. He's going to push to the 2, and he pushes that guy to the back. Boop. They're connected, and they both push off 1. Now, this guy is already outside leverage. He sees it, right? Because I'm here, coach's receiver. I see it. Push, 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 push. I'm going to give him a shove and come back down my stem and take that back away. We were just talking about this. In the Canadian game, big field, you better have a push alert. Because if that back's a guy, and I'm going to put a guy there and find out early, I run him on an arrow route and you don't push, if your mic don't catch him, your field's 9 million yards wide, right? So he catches that arrow route and bye. He's down the sideline. So I would always play cover 3 with a push alert. You get fast 3, push, 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 push. Because if 3's going to the flat, where's 2 going? He's vertical, okay? Or he's inside. Now, you do get this. He'll go vertical, and your mic has to wall him, and he can't, and the kid keeps going vertical. We tell our safety this. If they push, you'd better cheat just a hair to the push side. This kid has bad leverage. He's on the outside, and he's funneling. So what has to happen? Quarterback's got to throw a damn dime right there. He's got to pump that ball between a safety that's walling and a safety that's bailing, and he's got to put it in the damn pickle barrel. Can he? Yes. Does he? No. Can my guy? Hell no. Will my guy try? No, because I'll kill him. Because you're going to tell me that you're going to stand there with 4 guys rushing, look off the safety, and you're going to thread a ball over the will inside the strong safety and before the free safety closes 5 yards? You better hum it. You better not be wrong. Because if you are 1 iota late, the free safety pick 6 your ass going the other way. Because all the receivers are going that way, and he steps in front, and boom. We got to the state championship game 2 years ago doing this. Before I got to Emmett, they would not close the middle of the field because they did not understand how to rip Liz. That's what Nick Saban would call this. Rip Liz cover 3, man match 3. They spot dropped, and everybody ran 4 verts on them. I said, well, that ain't going to happen no more. We're going to rip Liz it. And we closed the middle of the field, and that team didn't think we could do it, and they tried to throw 4 verts, and our free safety picked them twice and killed 2 drives. And then they didn't have any answers because that was their check to 1 high. Still have a question, or did I answer it?
You answered it. I was going to ask what the free safety push, like cheating the push.
Yeah, the free is free until you get a push. Now, let me show you this before I go on, because this might save us some time on the back end. What happens when they go trips and you want to play cover 3? Okay, we have a bunch of ways to do this. I'm only talking 1 high. 2 high, we have a whole other, like if you want to see those, I'll draw them all up for you. If we want to go 1 high, you have all of 1 vertical. Strong safety, you're in Tahoe leverage. Actually, he'd be a little deeper. He'll back off. He'll get to about 7 yards of outside leverage. Nickel, play inside leverage. Don't play, now, if they're 2 by 2, you're both outside. Why does he not play inside, or excuse me, outside leverage? Because this receiver will bend over here, and this guy will run up the seam, and it's too much grass for the free to cover. You're going to funnel him here. You're going to funnel him here, and the free's going to cherry pick over the top. I push to 4 over 3. Now, I'm playing inside over the top, all 1 vertical. So you can throw hitches to that guy all frickin' night long. If you do, we'll zone pressure it. We'll bring the wheel and we'll drop the joker and we'll pick your ass off. But we're going to give you the hitch as much as you want the hitch because we don't want you to throw 4 verts. But you're not throwing bubble. You're not throwing stick. You ain't doing none of that to the trip side. You're not going to come out here and do to us what we do to you. You will not stand there and throw quick game off RPO and say, I'm going to walk it down the field. We're going, like what I say and what I do is a little bit of a weird contradiction. I told you the other night we're going to deny the deep ball, right? We're daring you to take it. We are saying to you, none of this little hocus pocus stuff down here in the flat. You're going to take shots. Your quarterback's going to hold it for 3 seconds. We're going to play chin music. We're going to hit his ass. And he's going to stand in the pocket, and he's going to be a grown adult, and he's going to line up kill shots and take body shots. And he better start completing them. Because if not, you're giving me the ball back, the ball back, the ball back. Happens every Friday night. Everybody comes out, and they look at little bitty Hobbit-style Emmett, and we're small, and they're like, okay, by God, getting 5 wide, and here we go. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. And then we just turn around and meat stick your ass the other way. And we hold the ball, and we beat on you, 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 and suddenly the game is running away from you. And then we get you behind, and then you're stupid, and then we start picking you off. Or you're just better than us, and you beat us, right? I mean, that's a problem. If you got guys that can throw it and guys that can complete it, same thing.
So, for us, like, we're going to get trips 75% of the time,
Okay.
probably. And just to like, talk to what Coach was saying about how long it takes kids to get this. So we've been running match for probably about 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of got it down to where we'll have 1 practice where we're just focusing on like our match to trips.
Yep.
And like 2 or 3 options that we can run to it. Then we're looking at match versus twins. And our options usually we're playing some sort of palms, 2 read off of that. Because if we get trips, we're pretty much going to get 2 receivers to the boundary as well.
Yep.
So we have to play like a 3 over 2, and then we get a 4 over 3 to the field. So yeah, it's like I would say like in 3 practices we have all of our coverages in, and like the kids just get it because you just say like you don't need to worry about space and then finding somebody. You just look, and then if they do a certain thing, it triggers what you're supposed to do. And then we do work, like we have our read drill where we'll line up 3 on 3 and just work route distribution like in any period throughout the week. So
I think people ask me, is man match hard? It depends on how you're phrasing that. Do the kids have to be coached up more? Yes. But they don't get frustrated because every single time they're wrong, you can pinpoint exactly why. Yeah. You were supposed to read 2 and 3 and first one to the flat. Why didn't you take him? Because I had bad eyes, I was slow. You do spot drop stuff? Well, I thought it was his guy. Well, he was in his zone. All those conversations end now. No, that's your freaking guy.
Yeah.
And here's why.
Reducing the language we found is like you say, like they have 1 sentence that they need to remember. number.
Yep.
Oh, I have two to the flat, two's not to the flat. Okay, I'm sinking.
There it is.
So
Let me show you this. Our base answer, since you brought up trips, our base answer to trips is we're going to play cover 6. So this is our base cover to 3x1. Corner always plays head-up leverage in all too high. If he's quarters, he will bail to inside leverage. If he's read 2, he will go through the receiver's outside shoulder to play the flat. Okay? Then our safety sits basically outside the defensive end. Will, Mike, free, corner, star. Okay? If we're in cover 6, they are white, they are yellow. That's our coverages. We call them on colors. We know that we have 3 vertical threats. So the kids have to know how many people can go vertical to your side. The kids know there's 3. Our first answer is we'll put this kid in carry. We'll call 4 carry. Cover 6 is the base, but these kids, they're divorced, right? They have a coverage and they have a coverage. So these kids will say, hey, we're 4 carry, 4 carry. What that means is I have all of 1 vertical. I am reading 2 to 3. If they both go vertical, I'm the star. I take 2. I got him. Done. End of story. Safety has 3. But I have the first to the flat. So if this kid goes to flat, I jump him, and the safety takes that. Now we've distributed it. If they all go vertical, you're in cover 0, which you're in anyway. But they're not going to run 4 verts a ton. So we'll do that. If you cause us an issue there, we will play palms to it. Now that nickel's in the box. He's apexed, okay? And we will poach. Oh, we were read 2 over here, by the way. Now we're in poach. You're in third. This kid has 3 vertical. Does that make sense? So the corner has first to the flat. Either one of those 2 goes to flat. Corner takes him. Safety takes the other one. He beats the 3 off the ball and funnels him, and the safety caps him. We poach it off the backside.
Do you squat the corner? Like if you get that 7 row from the inside or something?
That kid?
Yeah.
So if you hitch us, if you smash us, we're going to distribute that as man. We'll sit right on top of your hitch so that you won't throw it. If the quarterback takes his front hand off the ball, corner turns and runs. And we're gonna bracket it on the run.
Also, when you run that stress or carry, are you working the collision with your star, or is he just like getting desperate?
When we're here,
Yeah.
depends on how good the kid we're covering is. If they've got their dude at number 2, we're going to give him space, and we're going to let him come off the ball and reroute on the run. If their scrub is at 2 and their dude is at 3, then we're going to put hands all over 2. We're going to stop him at the line because now 3 is going to have to distribute to our benefit. So we'll play cover 4, cover 2, cover 3, all man match to your trips. I wish everybody would play trips because I have less coverage options when you're 2x2 than when you're 3x1. If this is your dude, then we will stay read 2 over here and let the nickel carry 2 vertical over there. Now, this kid's going to press you, and he has the flat. So if they're running a back out there, I'll jam, and I'll jump the flat and distribute it. We have another call that tells the will, you will take the back, I'll jam you, and we'll bracket you. We call that stealers. If we stealers you, we double your best guy. And he's done. Like, that's the big thing about man match. You're playing man on their worst players, and you're playing zone on their best players. Does that make sense? You're basically picking who you don't want to match up with.
So if you have your secondary player responsible for the back, then your backer on that side is just walling to the slant?
We're probably sending him,
Okay.
most likely. Now, if we didn't, yes, he'd be walling the slant, but it's a misnomer because if we're going to play true trap coverage on a single receiver, his ass ain't leaving anywhere. We're going to bury him because we're going to tell our corner, you got safety help over the top. You're going to roll down and you're going to get absolutely primordial nasty with him. I mean, you smoke his ass.
So you're almost just inviting that throw to the flat then? Okay.
Because what do we care?
Yeah.
You put your dude at 1 for a reason. You want to play catch with him and you want me to play to roll coverage to trips. So I'm going to say throw it to the back. And my will get there. If my will won't get there, I can call quarters and take the safety back to the flat. If you put your dude at tailback, I'll run my safety to your tailback. That's the beauty, right? I can distribute who I want where I want them.
What if you get a wing and then the motion across the formation? Do you pick that up with your back or distribution, or you call it push on?
Did we start 3x1 or 2x2?
Say 2x2, but the one side is a wing and a wide.
Okay, so over here, we're going to be in read 2.
Yeah.
Over here, we're going to be in quarters because I want these linebackers back in the box. I want to have a 7-man fit. So if this kid tries to go the flat, I'm matching him right now. I'm playing inside leverage, and I'm basically in thirds.
What if he motions and releases to the 2 receivers?
So he trades over?
Yeah.
What's he trade over for? Does he trade over to go vertical, or does he trade over to go the flat?
Horizontal.
Okay? If he trades over to go the flat, we're going to kick the will out and treat him as the new nickel. And then we're going to come over the top. And what we're probably going to do is we're probably going to call quarters poach and let those 3 take the verticals and tell the will, that's your guy.
So it's almost like spin, and then he's not making a push call. He's just got to run his ass out there.
Our will be standing there as the new nickel, and he'll say, that tight end twitches to the flat. I jump in and match him right now.
So he's moving out early, and then
Yeah, he'll remove from the box. Because now you have to bring the tight end back in the box to get numbers. But I have a 6-man fit.
Yeah.
That went deep quick. Did I lose anybody? Are we still okay? Besides the computer, did I lose anybody?
One of our issues, of course, is that our receivers are all in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're usually a 3x2.
Yep. I'm
So
with
there's
you.
no, we can't jam those guys.
Okay, we don't jam very often. And I figured I would get this question or this, I don't know, thought very quickly, because I've talked to other Canadian coaches before, and they're like, well, we have to spot drop because everybody's in motion. No, you don't. I think it's worse. Because if you've got multiple guys moving, how the hell do I know where they're going to distribute? I have absolutely no idea where they're going to distribute. So you just told your kid, hey, 2 guys are going in motion. You don't know where they're going and what they're doing, but back up to a spot and stop and see what they do. Well, you just handed the dry erase marker to the OC. You just gave him everything he wanted. He gets to dictate the tempo. He gets to dictate the style of the play. No, those 2 are your 2. You have first the flat. You have first vertical. Let them distribute. To me, man match taught well would completely eliminate all the advantages the offense has with motion. You're fighting fire with fire. You're taking the advantage the Canadian game gave the offense with motion and Xing it out and eliminating it right now and making them do something else, in my opinion. Now, is it easy? No. But losing's really easy. That's what I tell people. Every time people ask me, well, is that easy? No. Losing's easy. You want to win, you got to put time in. Would I run it with middle school age kids? Yes, but I would only teach them how to get in cover 4 and cover 2. That's it. I would run no 1 high because 1 high has moving parts. I would teach them how to do 2 safety defense, and I would teach cover 2, cover 4, and that's it. And I would rep it, and other than that, I'd play cover 0. That's all I would teach middle school kids. Then, when they get to freshmen, I'd add 1 high. That's what we do. Our 8th graders only know how to run 2 high and 0 high. Then when they become freshmen, we introduce 1 high. Then when they become JV age kids, we mix them in. Then when they're varsity, they should know everything. Theoretically.
At youth sports and CFL levels, like, it's all matched, right? They've been burned so hard on the country cover stuff, drop stuff, that they went through a decade of, getting 60 scored on them, that things have had to change.
And again, I didn't come from a defensive background. So this is really easy for me to unlearn spot drop coverages to man match coverages. This would be like trying to teach an offensive coordinator to run inside zone that's never run inside zone. It's a huge change for defensive people if you were set in your ways. I wasn't set in my ways. So when I really got exposed to it, I went, well, hell, that's a lot better. We don't have guys sitting down covering grass. I hate it. When you spot drop, you have a guy standing there covering nothing. And then somebody stands next to him and catches the ball. And then you yell at him. I yell at him because he didn't cover it. Well, how the hell does he know to cover it? You said stop here and take what shows up. Or you're matching that route. Basically, we tell our guy, once you ID it, you run his route with him. Just run his route with him. The quarterback ain't going to throw it to him. If he does, he better be damn accurate. Makes things a lot simpler. Good?
I was just going to say, there's so many good resources online for free
Tons.
to learn match. Like if anybody wants to know some good websites and stuff, they're just spending time learning the terminology and everything. That's not my stuff, so I don't care. Like I'll share anything with anybody, but there's some websites they can go to.
Well, he and I talked about last. I shock people because I told him Cody Alexander's in Texas. I know he's gone and visited him. He's a big man match guy in the States. And I subscribe to his website. I pay him a yearly subscription. I buy every book that he writes. And people ask me, they're like, why do you do that? You run a system. Why do you buy somebody else's system? I said, because I don't like losing. Like, it's just common sense to me. Like, if I want to get better at something, I'm going to have to spend time and I'm going to have to spend money. If I'm not willing to spend time and spend money, I'm not going to get better at it. And we just made the decision that we wanted to be man matched. Luckily, my DC, his strong point is stopping the run. His weak point is coverage. That fit perfectly because it did not offend him when I came in and said, your coverages are... He's like, I know. We're terrible. I said, why don't you run one high? Well, they run 4 verts on us. I said, man, match it. Huh? So I drew it for him, and he's like, oh, that lets us get 6. Like, our 6 in the box when we're one high, the only thing they cover is a swing by the back. Other than that, it's go get them, sick them. Our linebackers love what we call one high because they're like, see ya. 2 high, they have to match more. So they like it when they're in one high. It makes everything easier. I would start teaching the 2 high components in middle school and then work them up into one high. That's my opinion. And I think kids can do it. My son plays 8th grade football. He's a safety. He was a 7th grader last year. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but they'll call Rose and Linda. And when they call Rose and Linda, that's right and left. They're going from 2 high to 1 high man match. He doesn't realize that's what he's doing, but he can tell you, Coach, he'll tell me, he'll say, Dad, if they go from 2 by 2 to 3 by 1, I call Rose and the right safety spins down. Well, he's matching it in thirds is what he's doing. Because they don't understand how to take the 2 high structure, put a nickel in the game, and fit all the verticals with a nickel. They just know how to get to 1 high. That's how their DC processes it. Okay? So for us, everything turns to man. We're in man. 92% of the time we're in zone, but it's a lie. It's actually the other way around. 92% of the time we're probably really in man, but it's man match. Pressure situation dictates it. Okay? If we want to come get you with 5, we pretty much can't man match. If we want to bring 6, we're in man. We got to get in 0, right? We're going to play a lot of inside leverage. We will play, so Carson leverage is inside, Tahoe leverage is outside. One word flips it. If we are reading 2 to 3 and we're getting a lot of vertical by 2, we'll say, hey, Carson leverage. He goes inside because he's going to be able to carry that vertical easier inside. If you're running a lot of snag, air raid, flat stuff, running 3 to the flat, Tahoe, 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 he'll get outside leverage so he can see 3 better. And then he can hammer 3 as soon as they try to throw it. You're trapping number 3, okay? And that, to me, in the high school game, causes quarterback fits. You do this stuff to us, we're going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball, and we're going to throw RPOs. We're not going to throw drop back. We will completely abandon the drop back, which we really want to do anyway. We want to abandon drop back as fast as we can anyway. We're going to get you into run fits with play action and RPOs because it's harder. Those kids are being pulled a little bit more. You're rocking them to sleep, right? You start RPOing them and pulling guards, you're rocking those guys to sleep. It gets a little harder in there, okay? Cover 0, cover 1. Cover 2 lock literally means what it says. If we call 2 lock, the corners are in the flat. They will not leave. They carry nothing vertical. We only do that if we know by down and distance you're going to throw a flat route. Now it's ka-chow. Our corner's just waiting for you. And he just decapitates that out route or bubble or whatever it is. But we only do that if we know because we don't have enough vertical carriers. All right, go ahead, next one, Coach. So that's our man family. Man match cover 3, the free stays free. We say it all the time. Free stays free. You cannot take a route. Now push, obviously you'll lean one way or the other. We'll fire zone you, which means we're going to send a safety, we're going to send a nickel, we'll send 2 backers sometimes. When we get one high, we will be very risky in that. We'll send 2 linebackers sometimes in one high and try to get a hit on your quarterback. Seam carry is the fundamental point. How do you carry 2 and 3 in the seam? If you do not have an answer how to carry 2 and 3 in the seam and you play one high, you're hoping the quarterback can't hit the vertical ball because you're really not covering it, okay? So if I was coaching Canadian football and I spot drop cover 3, I would assume the game's going to be 77-76, and I better score fast because the quarterback's going to get me. It's a matter of time. There's too many ways I can put the ball up the seam. If it's man match, I look at it the other way. I'm not throwing 4 verts on you because it's a dead play. I'm going to get 5 carrying into 4. I'm not doing that. I'll start throwing flats. I'll start checking quick game, see if you have a push call. I'll run crossers. I'll run play action. I'm not going to do that. So to me, you want to make teams in the Canadian game get off the field, man match them on first down, and get the first win. Get the win on first down and put them in what would be for you, for me, 3rd and long, 2nd long for them. Get them in a bad way right now. Sky cloud support, 2 puts me in the fit. Whatever 2 does tells me what they're doing. If the number 2 receiver, quarterback's over there, if the number 2 receiver goes inside the block, it's a run. Done in the story. It's over. Safety, get in the fit. If we're cover 2, corner, get in the fit. We're done. Somebody's already got the vertical. So either our corner or our safety are going to come hell-bent for leather to the box as soon as 2 cracks. So if you wanted to hurt us, you should take 2 and crack him and then release him. No one does it. You should run pivot routes with 2. That would cause us some issues. We'd have to check a little bit more. But we would just put the nickel on that side, and the nickel would eat it, and the safety would be slow to the fit. Does that make sense? So we can get around that problem. Yes, sir.
So, you're just adding if you get a crack, so the secondary.
Yeah, we're coming.
Sees it? Okay. And
2
then,
cracks. We're coming now.
And if he runs an under, so he shows like it's going to be a crack, and then just runs an under, is it? But if he gets through on a free release,
He catches it.
Okay.
He catches it. So what he's talking about, okay, we're matching this. If we're in cover 2, he better not get inside because I'm walling. So I would smoke him and I would stop him right there. I'd obliterate him.
So you want that back and open flat then? Okay.
Yeah, he should always open flat. If we're quarters, he's going to get underneath of me. Okay? What we would tell our kids is if he comes high, like 5 yards, take his ass out. Call cut and take him out. If he's so close to the line of scrimmage that you can't get him, we're going to let him pass all the way over and we're going to expand on top of him.
So that's like your final third, kind of?
And he'll catch the ball over there. And then we will come downhill and tackle him for 2 yards. We're not going to chase him. Because if we chase him, what are they doing? They're bringing 1 above him.
Yeah.
They'll put 1 in the zone behind him. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 3 droppers, low hole, 2 seam carries, and we're going to pass him off, and then we'll deal with him on the other side. But the quarterback's holding the ball an awful long time.
Yeah, but ideally your will is the one that's cutting it.
Correct. Who's going to cover him is going to be whoever the curl player is on the other side. Because we don't want you to throw the dig. We want you to throw the shallow.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we talked about cover 3 rip Liz. Cover 3 buzz. It's pretty groovy. We'll play with 2 safeties on the roof, and we will close the middle field, and we will bring him to the box. We buzz him. If we're buzzing, remember we got 2 linebackers in the box. That guy's coming. Either inside or outside, he's coming. We're bringing the mic, and we're buzzing to replace. So we're going to still be in a 6-man box with 1 coming. This is mainly an odd support thing, right? We'll have 3 down linemen. We'll push him, we'll bring him, and we'll buzz the safety down so we're back into a 4-2 box. So we'll show you 3-2 box. We call it the art of the light box. We'll show you 3-2, and if you're a box counting team, you'll walk up, you'll go, hey, they got 3-2. We're going to run the ball. The mic comes, there's our 4th rusher, and the safety buzzes. Now it's a 6-man box. So you hand the ball off, and we're just striping you. Because our mic is still there, and our strong safety's there, and they're just sitting there waiting, and one of them's going to come free because we twisted gaps on you. Does that make sense? And then we're playing cover 3 behind it. Cover 3 cloud, I don't like. My DC does. I hate it. When we play cover 3 cloud, there's your 4 guys. He's coming, basically. He's either coming on a stunt or he's in the run fit, and we're pushing cover 3 back over it. Now, it's a bitchin' coverage. It's awesome. The problem is these guys don't get to where they're going fast enough, and then they don't match things well. So you're essentially playing spot drop cover 3 again when you cloud support that. Again, if you know they're throwing a flat, you can go get him. All right, let's go to the next one. Man match quarters. We are taking away the verticals. Remember, the number one question that has to be asked, who has who vertical? We'll line our kids up all the time. We'll say, hey, who's got 3 vertical? Me? That's a problem. It should be, Coach, I got 3 vertical. Coach, I got 2 vertical. Switch to this. Now I got 2 vertical. What leverage have you got? Inside, outside, over the top. They need to be able to parrot that back to us. Great run support with the middle of the field open. Okay? So again, why do I like too high in run support? Well, if you're going to get 2 receivers out here, and I have some kind of nickel, I've overhung the box. If he comes to block me, I've re-supported the run. If he runs a route, I have 2 vertical. So where's this guy going? Back down his stem and into the box. Too high gives me extra run support. Okay? It's backwards thinking, but man match allows you to redistribute those routes and regain the leverage in the box. Okay? The rest of that, it is what it is. Okay? It all depends on what we're seeing. Our base is cover 6. We're going to play 4 and a nickel to the field, and we're going to play trap 2 to the boundary. If you don't tell me anything about a team, you just say they're going to run 10P 2x2. I'm going to say, okay, guys, we're 6. Call quarters to the field, put the nickel to the field every time, play 2 to the boundary, and let's play ball. Will wall. Mike is walling the final 3, or he's on a push alert. That's it. We're done. And we play 4 down in some way. We'll either play 3 down and bring 1, or we'll line up 4 down and we'll play ball. Everything else will change off of that. I would say we are in cover 6 most of the time. And then we are spinning out of it to other things. It's become our spread killer defense. If you're not better than the team you're playing, cover 6 prevents you from giving up big plays. Next. There's what it looks like. They're all colors, okay? Black is 0. We got no support and a flat, okay? Red is true man-free cover 1. Everybody's manned up, and the free is a rover. I like that because a lot of teams don't punish us for it, and then we double their best guy. Yellow lock, we don't use a lot. That's why I told you where they stay hard. Go to the next one, Coach. There's black into trips. There's red into trips. There's yellow lock into trips. Go on. Again, I'll send you this if you want it. Cover 3 family. Green is line up and man match thirds. Orange is buzzing the safety and getting to thirds. Blue is hard the corner getting into thirds. I hate blue. I hate everything about blue. Every time they call blue, I hate it. Every time I see it on the call sheet, I ask them to take it off, and somehow it still gets on there. I just don't like it. I love how it fits, but to me, you're really getting into spot drop cover 3. But my DB's coach is in love with it, and my DC's in love with it, so a lot of times it still finds its way in there. I love green. I like a lot of orange. I like both those. I just don't like blue. Okay, next. There's green to trips. Okay, different ways we'll process that. We would not really like the mic there. Probably wouldn't do it that way, but you get the point. Okay, it just kind of gives you some perspective on it. He color codes all this stuff in a program so that we know who is who. Receivers are red, H-backs are green, tailbacks are blue. That way when the kids look at it, they color code it. And then we put pennies, little practice jerseys, on kids that color correspond to that. Just makes life easier. Go ahead. There's your man match. When you see white Nevada, here's what he's saying. White is cover 4. Nevada means the nickel is in the flat. Omaha, he's coming. Nevada, he's dropping. It gives us a one-word alert for what's going on. Carson is carry. Poach. Poach means I've got 1 vertical. I've got 2 vertical. I've got 3 vertical. That guy stays in the flat. We have a true flat player. So if you're a big quads team, you want to line up in trips and swing the back to trips, we will call white poach. Corner, safety, safety, you're taking 3 vertical. All 3 of those guys vertical. Nickel, you're going to reroute the piss out of 3, push to 2, push to 1. You have final 4. Which means if they all burn out of their vertical, he's going to be standing there in the flat with nothing to do. But if they try to dump it late to the back, boom, we lay you down, you get no yards. So it just depends on how you're processing that.
Coach, here in Canada, what you see, like what I run a ton of, is like number 3 on that crosser, like getting across the other side. You know, in like a sort of more of a traditional Y cross, like a high cross, not a shallow. And it's always they're like I have to be aware of the trap from the backside, what we call like boundary halfback. But I see a lot of when you're in trips or rotating stuff, like you're bringing like all the poach and stuff. What's your answer for that? But you see a lot of that number 3 coming across. I
So
guess
3's running the over.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
So 3's doing this.
yeah.
He's getting over the top. So we would play trap on those 2. And then the Mike or the nickel, whoever, he would be inside of 3. And the safety would be, so I probably didn't say this. When we poach, if 3 doesn't go vertical, that safety goes back and double teams 1. That's what poach means, okay?
But he's got his eyes to the field side, right, or to the strip side.
He's dropping between 3 strong and 1 weak, and he's reading 3 strong. 3 strong's vertical, he takes him. 3 strong goes to flat, he doubles 1. We end up in bracket coverage. That Mike is going to flathead that route because he has no flat by 1 and 2. He only has flat to 3. So as soon as the Mike sees 3 go vertical, he builds a wall on him. And he's going to hold that route as long as he can and make it funnel to the safety. So he'll get there, but we're going to make it take 2.5 seconds. That's what we tell the Mike. It's got to take 2.5 seconds for him to get over there.
The teaching point for that receiver, I would tell him, like for us, would be under Sam, over Mac, right?
Yeah.
We're trying to get to that route.
If you go under and you pop over us, we'll see that from the box, and we'll tell the Mike from now on, anytime 3 tries to cross, you take his ass out. You just take him. And we'll flathead him right. I mean, we'll literally run him down into the guard and bury him. And if you call PI, you call PI. But we're going to make that very uncomfortable because we do that. We go underneath that guy and then pop up and disappear. Okay? We call it jumping out the hole, right? And that's a pain.
Route we got, right? So.
Now, what we've started doing is we tell our will, if you get an over route and the Mike loses you, if he does that, so I'm the Mike, he's the receiver, and he goes under me, and I let him go, and he keeps popping up, I start yelling over, 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 over. Now I drop to the trip side, I continue pushing, and the will plays man on that crosser. The will pick him up and run underneath of him. So now what happens is Will has the bottom of his route, and safety has the top of his route. He's bracketed on the run. So we're running a double team across the field.
And you're just voiding the flats to the boundary there.
Well, the Mike would have it. The Mike would have new 4. Does that make sense? So if you did that a lot, it'd be here, 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 boom. We got 1 more player, right? We got this, this, and this actually, okay? So here's what he's going to wall slant. He's pushing vertical. He has 3. They've got this in a vise. So if he pushes and beats me, I would tell the Mike, over, over, over. Bam. Mike runs with him. He's going to run with him as best he can, and the safety's going to cap him. So now when he tries to do that, he's got a linebacker and a safety on each side. Now, I'm not saying he ain't going to get open because he's better than the Mike. Our Mike's 230 pounds. He ain't going to cover him very long or very well. But he's going to stay in that window and make him have to thread one underneath the safety. And our thinking is he outruns him in 3.5 seconds, and he catches the ball, and our safety's going to tackle him, and he's going to get 15 yards. All right? Do it again. Because eventually, if you just live in it, I'll just play man. And I'll fire them all, and I'll come get you. Because I know you don't have 3.5 seconds if I'm bringing 6. I'm just going to keep playing that game with you. Nobody consistently runs that on us. And I don't know why. So they'll probably get this tape and see it 100 times next year. But you should line up things and try to drag them back. Because if you figure out now, the other problem you've got is you don't know when I'm poaching and when I'm trapping. So if I'm not poaching, I'm carrying 2, and the front side safety jumps him and mans him all the way across the field, and he never gets open. So you got to poach and carry. Carry's where the nickel has 2. Okay? Poach is where the safety has 2. You have to interchange those. Because then that OC doesn't know, and the quarterback doesn't know where that guy's going. All right, go to the next one. Did I get you guys both?
I'll ask you after.
Okay. Go ahead, keep going. All right, that's good. Let's go to film. All right, full screen that bad boy. So pause that right there. Roll it back. So if you look at my nickel, 25 is my nickel, he's in Carson leverage. He's in inside leverage. Okay? So go ahead and play it. You can't tell by the corner if that's trap or bail. His eyes are on 2. He's head up. He's going to bail because now he's getting bad eyes. We want him to keep his eyes as long as he can. That's bail coverage. That's cover 4. The nickel has the flat.
Do you have your corners zone turn, like open to the field, or are you wanting them to man turn?
We're trying to back out as long as we can, and then we'll open to the quarterback. Our guy's talking about trying to have them skate this year because they're a little bit more athletic. Yeah, we solve a lot of problems with aggression. Now, somebody asked me this last night, what about comebacks? They catch them. If you're going to live with it, you'll complete some of them. That should have been picked. That's poach. He's poaching across. If we get mesh, double crossers immediately, we make a call and both safeties just stop their feet and they wait for them to cross and then they come nail them down. So we just eviscerate them on the run. That's actually the term we use, eviscerate them. Now, see how 44 comes down and hits that crosser on that one? We don't want him to do that too long because he's going to open a zone behind him. So we tell him, if you got to run more than about a step or 2, we don't want you to do it. You can see we're giving a lot of grass out here to the field side flat. We're giving you a lot because it's a long throw. We think we can rally and cover it. And that's what you'll notice if you watch all these clips. There's places to go with the ball. You just got to get it in there in a hurry. See our safety stay flat-footed right there? They got mesh, so they just stop. And now you can't run any kind of post or dig on top of your mesh. Our safeties would cover it. You're just going to have to play catch with the meshers and get 4 yards. That's poach. We're poaching that. So you see we got plenty of guys now to cover the flat. Backside safety will just yell poach, poach, poach. He'll bring it across. Back that one up, coach. So we sent the nickel. Did y'all see that? The nickel's 25 down here. We sent him, so now the safety has the flat. See him? It's sky support. He has to come get 2 to the flat. Now, if the quarterback would have risen up right now and thrown the flat, he had us.
So if
He's going to get 5 yards.
If he gets a quick in by 2, is he just post hole help them, or?
If the nickel's being sent
Yeah,
and 2 go shallow,
yeah.
the mic would be pushing to wall slant.
And then safety just
That's unnatural, right?
one.
So we tell our safeties 2 shallow is never you.
Yeah.
2 underneath is never you. So he would drop and essentially poach on demand. Now, if it was a glance, he's got to take it. But if it's a direct shallow cross right now, he drops. What we actually do is if your number 2 runs shallow, we tell that safety to sprint flat across the field to get dig or over.
So you want him, instead of helping on the backside post, you want him pushing to the field.
It depends on what you're running and what we've seen on film study. But if you come out and do this, and this guy goes shallow right now, I'm going to go here right now because you're probably doing that. So I'm going to come poach that dig. Now, if we were cover 2 over here, this wall player should have never let that happen, which means you'll get slow feet and you'll end up back in the drift. But if it's cover 4 over here, he's going to win. We're just going to come poach it right now. So as soon as you, now, this is what gets tricky, coach. If your 2 is shallow now, you look at the other 2. If he's vertical, rob him. If he's shallow, stop your feet. They're running something by 1 on an in cut. Does that make sense? If both 2s are running mesh, 1s are trying to get behind the safety. Don't move. Stop right now and get your head on a swivel. You'll find it. If your 2 is shallow and the other 2 is not, go to it. They're going to in cut. It's either an over route or it's a dig. Come get it right now. Come cut it off. And we'll end up double teaming it. Is that it?
Yeah, you want the one eye?
Yeah, let's watch a couple clips of one high and then we'll do lunch. Okay, so this is all man match cover 3. So now the middle of the field's closed. Pause it right there. Okay, so you can see our safety is outside leverage of 2. Our nickel is inside leverage of 3. Okay, if they push 4 to the flat like this, we have to decide how we're going to distribute it. So we'll have a 4 check. Okay, the way we would prefer to do it is, pause, go roll it back a little bit. And they're idiots. They got 3 and 4 going to the flat. So that'll make our Mike and our nickel both push. Okay, go ahead and play it. We should have 2 linebackers running to the ball right here. And we do. Now I have 5 over 4. They're just doing it to get a clean box, but the Will has nothing but the quarterback now. Mm-hmm. He's just a rat. Right? I got too many fitters in the box because I'm one high. So it's going to be really hard to run the ball there. What I like about the one high is look at my box players. They are not even remotely worried about pass because I've matched everything with the safeties. So I've divorced them from their coverage assignments for the most part. And you got to intermix them. That's a pain in the ass. When you get teams that run wing T, double wing, compressed sets, that's a pain in the ass because it happens now. Right? That's what we do to people. We'll just rub each other off and run. But that's tough when you start getting people in compressed stuff. Go ahead and go forward a couple clips, Coach. I don't think anybody wants to watch. You guys don't see any wing T up here, do you? Do you? This team's a little bit more spreadish. Now, do you see, roll that back, Coach. Do you see, I don't like what 2 does here. They have to be on a string. Number 8, the free, is going to roll down. 2, go. Get your ass back to the middle of the field, right? You're free. He's late. If they would have caught that, they should have ran a pop to the tight end right there.
We see a ton of like rotation like that, where they'll put the boundary half back up to the middle and the free safety will come down. And if we're slow at that, I'm always watching that on film. If I can get them on a post or a cross or something, that free safety doesn't get there.
Yeah. The other thing you got to be really cognizant of is your run fits are different one high than 2 high. Right? You can spill things in 2 high and run it to the safety. You can't spill 1 high. There's no safety to spill to. So you've got to be better about boxing runs in 1 high and spilling. So like if you get counter tray, you want to spill it in 2 high because there's an extra safety on the hash. But in 1 high, you want to box it and turn it back in the box. All your hitters are in the box. So that's something that's hurt us over the years is if you're mixing a lot of 1 high and 2 high coverage, sometimes your kids will fit the run opposite, and that'll screw you up a little bit.
But do you teach your ends different techniques when you're 2 high or 1 high? Like are they wrong arming or boxing kind of thing?
If you ran counter tray and we're in 2 high, our end would go down inside and blow it up and bounce it. But if we were in 1 high, he'll box. He'll take it on and turn it back for the 2 linebackers to scrape it over.
So what's the, is there a word that is in the call so they know? Because, I mean, a lot of times D linemen are like, well, we don't know what the coverage.
Color.
Color?
Just the color. But we've got to probably do a better job of that because we're going to mix the coverages more this year. So we're probably going to have a word that tells them. They're supposed to know the color. When they hear these colors, it's 2 high. These colors, it's 1 high. So they're supposed to know their assignment changes, but I don't think they always do. And if you watch them play, half the time it's just see ball, tackle ball. All right, did everybody get what they want on the man match? Does that make sense? I mean, this could be, we could talk for the next 12 hours on this and probably not cover every detail. I mean, it's labyrinthian, but the point being, it gives you a starting point.